Alright, so I've got these patterns here, these charts here, sorry. So that's enough with the tuning. But the one thing I needed to, the point that I needed to make, and I guess I honed right back in on that point, is that when we hit that warp, okay, so let's say in the unwarped here, we have R going to 4 right there, okay? I probably just zoomed out of what I wanted to show you. R goes to 4 straight up, all right? So that would be like, all right? So root goes to 4. Now in the that's in the unwarped zone between the two strings 4 and 5. Now, but in a real guitar, string 5 isn't tuned up except a third, right? So R is going to go to a third. That's another way of looking at it. And if you want that perfect fourth, you have to go like that, up there. That's pretty much the simplest way. Now, once you're on string 5, the second highest string, it goes back to a fourth between strings. So there's a fourth between 1 and 2, a fourth between 2 and 3, a fourth between 3 and 4, a third between 4 and 5, and then a fourth between 5 and 6. So we've tuned up, hopefully. C, A, G, E, and D. So with that D, what would that E be? That would be the second. So it would be that's tuning. So what are these? Let's look at today's chart, but we have other charts that this is actually yesterday's chart. What's with the red, white, and blue? Aside from, freedom isn't free, but it is. It is. We're free, and we thank God that we're free. That means I'm free to teach guitar if I want to, period. I mean, as long as I do it in an honest way, So, instead of like claiming to do that and then just teach someone how to do drugs or something, and play acid rock, this isn't. I mean, you can apply this stuff to any type of music, heavy metal, as they call it acid rock, but we don't want people to play whatever kind of music. You got to play simple music anyway. Look at it this way: if you're just starting out in guitar, you're about 300 years behind everybody, but you can catch them fairly quickly compared to that scale. As a matter of fact, when I sit down and play piano, I start about 300 years behind the times. And within about 20 minutes, I'm only about, I'd say 50 years behind the times. And you keep playing and playing, you just move up the time scale like that. So you make your own mind up what kind of music. But I don't suggest that people use any kind of mind-altering drugs unless they're tried and true, over the counter or something like that. But if something makes you drowsy, I don't suggest that that you try to handle this stuff, because it gets a little complicated. This chart here, okay, let's move on. Just for today, this chart here is today's chart, okay? Now, I can see I can put it like that. But then we lose kind of something there. But there's more of me. All right, so what I've done here is I broke up that keyboard that we had before. Okay, so I want to see if I can go back in time. There it is. So this is the multi-fret keyboard. Remember I said there were these lines, and what those lines represented was a hard fret nut. And what I'm working on is the open chord region is right here. Okay, so in the key of C, the open chord, in the key of cage, let's say, which is all 5 cage keys, it's right here. Open chord. Open chords are here. You're going to use strings that you're not depressing the up here. You're not doing the bar. I mean, it's a little risky to play up here and try to if you do it an octave and just try to play some of the strings, so it'd be like that kind of works, kind of works. Kind of do a ragtime there. Oh, I forgot I'm in regular tuning. Regular tuning on the piano, so I can help you people, when needed. So that's what it's all about. That's why I made this the grid here, my note map, which is just 6 piano keyboards embossed onto this guitar. This does not change. That's the important thing. These colors I can't change this. If this was a computer display, let's say this whole thing was this weird shaped computer display like that, and I could just press a button here and change the tuning, then I'd tell you that. Then I'd tell you that's the case. That's not the case. It's actually permanent on here, semi-permanent. I can take it off with a putty knife and some Goo Gone, and I clean it all back up and put a different grid on. It takes about 3 or 4 days, and a trip to the printers, and then all that stuff. So this is permanent. These are the notes as far as I'm concerned. The notes don't change. The notes on a piano don't change. These piano notes up here, they don't change. That doesn't mean that you can't play in any key you want, at any tempo you want. Alright? It's got all of the keys. You can play them. Anything from C, B flat, E flat rather, A flat, this is A flat, F sharp. Okay? You can play anything you want. So just because there's a colored pattern here, it doesn't mean that locks you into anything. C is going to have the shape it has on the piano, on every piano you'll see for the rest of your life, probably. With the exception of simpler schemes that don't have, they just don't have to be arranged the way they are. So, I forget where we went with that, where we were going with that discussion. That happens. And then when I watch the video, I watch it through once again for any comments I have to make. I see where I got off the track, and I apologize if I did. This diagram here is similar to the one we were looking at, but I've cut out the different modes, and I've got as many notes as I need, but not too many. When I first started out, I would grab more notes than I needed. Like, I've got to get all these notes. I'm going to get them. But you might as well get the whole fretboard, right? Because when you have the whole fretboard, you have the notes. All the notes. Okay, but what's different about these is this is the Ionian mode, as if the fret nut was right here. Okay.